Okay, once again, this is Richmond again, and then we are on this tutorial, and then I'm doing this tutorial because some students find it very difficult naming Oxo-Anions. And then all that you need to understand here is that Oxo-Anions, when you hear Oxo in science or chemistry, basically it's talking about oxygen, and anions talking about atoms which are gain or lose electron. So when an atom gain electron or lose electron, become ion. So we have two types. Ion can be a cation or anion. So anion specifically is talking about a negatively charged ion. That's actually what we are talking about. So the Oxo-Anion is negative charged group of atoms or radicals that contain oxygen atom. Very simple. So whenever you see a negatively charged group of atoms in which oxygen is attached to, that particular compound is called Oxo-Anion. It's very, very simple. And then here we are to name them, so we need to know the rules governing the naming of these Oxo-Anions. And the first thing that we need to know that the name, so let's talk about the rules. So the rule one is very important here. And the rule 1 states that the names are based on the oxidation of the central atom and the number of oxygen atoms bonded to it. So it means that you need to calculate for the oxidation state of the central atom and also know the number of oxygen bonded to the central atom before we can give a name to a particular Oxo-Anion. Okay, that's the first rule that we need to know. Okay, the second rule states that the number of oxygen atoms and it is placed before the central atom as. Okay, so you need to state the number of the oxygen atoms and then place it before the central atom as. If it is 2, now if it's 2 atoms we call di-oxo, if it's 3 atoms we call tri-oxo, if it is 4 atoms of oxygen called tetra-oxo, when it's 5, and so on and so forth. That is the second rule. And the third rule also says that the suffix E80, the suffix E80 replaces the last 2 or 3 letters in the name of the central atom. So let's say example here. If you have manganese, all that we need to do is that we replace the whole of this one by E80 and it becomes manganate. That's basically what the rule 3 is saying. So when we have sulfur, if you have sulfur here, sulfur now becomes sulfate. Okay, so that's what the rule is saying. So the fourth rule is saying that the oxidation number of states of the central atom is calculated and it is written in capital Roman numerals in parentheses after its name. And then finally, the word ion is added to the name. That's very simple. Okay, so I've given all the rules that you need to know. Let's take example, and the example can clarify everything that we need to know in this naming to make it very possible. And I know that you will enjoy this tutorial so much. Let's take this one because we are naming Oxo-Anions, and anions, you should know that they should be ions and oxygen being attached to the ions. Okay, let's take this first one. Alright, so the first question is this: SO3 2 minus like this. So all that you need to do is that we calculate the oxidation number for the central atom. And the central atom in this Oxo-Anion is S. Okay, so And then we know that one of the rules states that when we sum up the oxidation number of the individual element forming the ion, they should be equal to the charge the anion is carrying. Alright, so whenever we sum up the oxidation number of the individual atoms or elements in the anion here, or the oxo-anion here, they should be able to give us the charge that the oxo-anion is carrying. So here, the central atom is S, so we replace it by X. And then we know that the fixed oxidation number of oxygen is -2, so we bring a -2 here, times the subscript, which is 3, to give us the charge, which is -2 here. Alright, so let's try and then move on and see how we can do this. So here what we need to do is that we simplify this expression, and we have our X here, -2 times 3 give us -6 is equal to -2. Okay, so here we group like terms, so our X will be equal to -2 plus 6, and our X will be equal to plus 4. So to name this oxo-anion, I said that we consider the number of atoms of oxygen being bonded to the central atom. So here we know that the number of atoms here, oxygen atom being bonded to the central atoms, are 3. So the name of the oxo-anion is now like this: tri-oxo. So tri-oxo means that the oxygen, the number of oxygen is 3. So you write it like this: tri-oxo. And I said that you change the name of the central atom. If it is sulfur, you change it to sulfate. If it is manganese, you change it to manganate. So tri-oxo, and then you bring this central atom's name, sulfate, tri-oxo sulfate, and then you bring its oxidation number, and oxidation number is 4. You put it in parentheses like this. So tri-oxo sulfate 4, and then you add the ion to it because we are dealing with oxo-anions. So tri-oxo sulfate 4 ion, and this is how we name this oxo-anion. Let's take another example. So this is example 1. Let's take example 2 and see how we can solve it. And example 2 is CO3 2-. So to solve this one, the same rule. So the central atom is C, we replace by X -2, that's the fixed oxidation number of oxygen here, times 3 is equal to -2. Perfect. Okay, so all that we need to do here is very simple, that we simplify this expression, and it's going to be X -6 equal to -2, and then we group like terms, and X will be equal to -2 plus 6, which is equal to plus 4. So now the number of atoms of oxygen here is equal to 3. So the name of this oxo-anion becomes tri-oxo, meaning the oxygen is 3, tri-oxo, and then this is carbon, and the carbon becomes carbonate, tri-oxo carbonate. Okay, so tri-oxo carbonate, and then the oxidation number of the carbon that we calculated for is 4. So carbonate 4, we put it in parentheses, and then we add the ion to it because it is oxo-anion. Let's take another example, and I think that will be the last example, and I think by that last example every student will be good, will be able to solve any question given here. So this example is MnO4 and then minus here. So here we are calculating for the oxidation number here for X Mn, that's manganese, and then let's multiply by X. Minus 2 times 4 is equal to minus 1. And then here we can say that this time this will give us minus 8. So X minus 8 is equal to minus 1. So X is now equal to minus 1 plus 8, which is equal to plus 7. So because of the number of oxygen molecule here is 4, we say this anion is called tetra ozo, and this is manganese, so become manganate. Tetra ozo manganate 7, and then 7 is written this way. Tetra ozo sulfate, tetra ozo manganate 7 ion. And this is basically how we deal with oxo-anions. I know that this tutorial has been of good help to you, and if you like this tutorial and then you want to be notified whenever we publish or post a new video, please subscribe to my channel and then you share and like. Thank you and God bless you until we meet again for the next tutorial. Bye for now.